everybody. This is Dr. Brian Dooley coming from beautifully sunny Spartanburg, South Carolina, going, I'm guessing you're up in New York with beautifully sunny uh, Dr. Jay Handt, who is with us today. And Dr. Jay, thank you for taking time with us.
Always a pleasure.
Careful with the bears coming out of the woods.
I'm just going to close out for a second.
Okay. So this is what we call in the business filler. And so
in the woods, animals.
Yeah, what are you going to do? But Dr. J, so you've been involved with New Beginnings for a little bit longer than I have. But what is it about New Beginnings that keeps bringing you back every time Jim DeBell has one?
Well, basically, it's the family attitude, and you know, we've been together. I think it's going on 30 years with New Beginnings, and I've been on the board, on the New Beginnings board, almost as long. And what I find is when we go, it's the fellowship, the friendship. What I you know, always like hanging out with people of like mind, and in the chiropractic world, being a principled, philosophically based chiropractor, it's a pretty small group of people that live in that world. So showing up at New Beginnings as often as I can really reconnects me, keeps me grounded, keeps me in the philosophy. And to me, most importantly, I get to party with some of my favorite people.
There you go. Now, what about the chiropractor out there that maybe is not part of that group? Well, why should I join that group of philosophical, principled chiropractors?
Well, you know, I think what goes on in practice is you really need a strong foundation. You know, if you think about what went on in this last year with the COVID and all this baloney that's been happening, if you have a really strong philosophy and you really own that fact that innate controls, coordinates, and regulates everything that goes on in our body, and as Chuck Gribble would say, that power that makes the body heals the body. You know, keeping that center and in perspective when you're working with patients through this, and you know, just getting them to trust their innate rather than the outside forces and the sheepish attitude that everybody's been running around with. You know, I always laugh at, you know, they always used to say chiropractic is not scientific and there's nothing, you know, you can't prove it and all that. And yet you look at what's been going on for the last year, and everything they're doing is not scientific. It's just what expert opinion, and that's all it is opinions. And people have been running on opinion and not following the experts, not following the science. So it's very interesting. So every day it sort of validates how important it is to be grounded in a principle that talks about how powerful the body is in overcoming and healing everything.
Well, I know for me, since I've been coming to New Beginnings, one of the things that I enjoy the most is, and you touched on it too, the talks are always good, but it's that time when you're speaking with people in between the seminars, at the bar, at dinner, walking down the boardwalk. What I love about New Beginnings is the willingness to give of information from the wisdom of people before us, and then I'm able to hopefully impart on the people that are coming after me. But it's just that boost you always get in your practice. I always love the Monday after New Beginnings because I know everything's are going to be great because my mindset is grounded.
Right, I agree. And one of my old friends who recently passed, John Hoffman, used to say, most of the learning and most of the politics takes place in the bar after the program.
Right.
And I really do agree with that. And one of the things you brought up is going back into practice after a New Beginning. The thing that's so beautiful is most of the chiropractors, and I'll use me as like an old timer, which I never thought I'd be, but one of the old timers, is I needed to share what I've learned, and it's not about being a manager in management. It's not about being a coach. It's about being a mentor and trying to bring out the best in people and not worry about what I'm getting out of it. It's like, what am I giving to it? And from a selfish point of view, you know, mentoring these young docs, I do get a lot out of it because, you know, one of my purposes is to make sure everybody in the world gets the opportunity to get an adjustment. And since I can't do it all by myself, the more young docs I mentor and the more excited they get about chiropractic, the greater my reach is in touching, you know, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people over my lifetime by helping young chiropractors become great chiropractors. So that's my selfish side. It's helping me fulfill my dream
Right.
by helping other people, buy into my program.
Well, and that's what I love about New Beginnings. When you have the conversations in the hallway, it's not, I'm going to tell you this one nugget, but then now buy my coaching program and I'll tell you everything else. At
Right.
New Beginnings, they just share. And a couple of these conversations, New Beginnings is like the living room of chiropractic. You're all sitting
Great.
around, hanging out. You might have a libation, and you might go to a diner, right? So you're one of the best diner buddies I've ever had as far as New Beginnings. So we always look for it's this. I was thinking a lot. Principle 32 is coordination. So it's all the cells of the body are supposed to work like they should. Well, that's what New Beginnings gives. It's all these cells of chiropractors that are working together with a common purpose, so that the world gets healthier.
And what I like about that is, for the most part, New Beginnings is apolitical.
Mm-hmm.
We're principled. We know the schools that we stand by, which is basically Sherman and Life for the most part, and some of Life West. But we're apolitical. Like, I can get together, and me being on the board at Life and talking to the people on the board at Sherman, we're not fighting. We're discussing. We're sharing ideas. We're looking to how can we improve each other? How can we make it so we're the best schools out there? How can we make it that we're producing the best students out there? And I think New Beginnings gives us a platform to do that, in an era of cooperation as compared to an era of competition. So I like that. I mean, to me, it's about changing the world, not about who's changing the world. So yeah, one of my favorite lines, I don't know if you said it, you can accomplish anything as long as you don't care who gets credit for it.
Right.
And I think that's a really important thing. So hanging out, Dubell, I love him. He's the Bottom and Bailey of PT Bottom of chiropractic. He's like, the BJ of New Jersey.
Right.
Everything is bigger and better and extravagant. And he's a showman. And I really like being in his energy. So, and he's probably the biggest lever I know. Like, I watch, people will come in who've never been to New Beginnings, and the first thing Dubell does is go over and give him a big hug. Welcome
Right.
to the family. And really, that's what it's about. Welcome to the family, and I've gotten to make a lot of new friends there, and I've gotten to keep a lot of lifelong friends being there so long. And I look forward to showing up whenever I can at a New Beginnings.
Well, I want to caution people on that first hug, because my son, who I think was 11 at the time, Jackson, this is Dr. Dubell. He's running the event, and he's like, "Oh, little Dooley, welcome to the family. You and your dad go get that table." So,
right.
Jim, they put you to work, but that's okay. But I love what you had mentioned about the Life and the Sherman thing, because typically, since I've been around New Beginnings, a Life weekend centered in May, and then the Sherman weekend centered in October. And from the Sherman side of things, we had to move our Lyceum to that weekend because of COVID. And so for you and everybody with Life, thank you for your graciousness of letting us take part in your weekend. But I think you make a really good point, because what I see in chiropractic, it's about the name on the back of the jersey, whether it's the school I go to, whether it's a technique I practice. But New Beginnings is about the name on the front of the jersey, which is chiropractic.
Right. And I think as long as we can come together and rally around the principle, and like New Beginnings is about protecting, perpetuating, and bringing New Beginnings to the chiropractic to the world. If we can just keep that in focus, the other stuff sort of gets pushed off to the side. And I don't know any place else in chiropractic profession where you'll get the presidents of different colleges coming together and sharing the same stage, breaking bread together, hanging out, and discussing stuff. So I think it's really important. I think it's giving a level playing field. And even though there's a Life weekend and a Sherman weekend, there are Life docs talking at the Sherman weekend, or Sherman docs talking at the Life weekend. Right. So it's a shared one. And I don't even think that we focus so much at one or the other than maybe the luncheon. But for the most part, if you looked at the platform, you wouldn't know what school people are coming from, or where their support is, because we're all talking the same story. You know, we say the stories differently, but the outcome's always about, you know, the main character, which is chiropractic and the philosophy that keeps us going. I mean, I'm in practice going on 44 years, and it's the philosophy that makes me excited to go in when I go into the office. You know, it's the philosophy that you know makes, you know, if I was just pushing bones every day, that's boring as all hell. But turning life on every day, that's exciting. And not knowing how that life is going to unfold when you turn it on, that's even more exciting. You know, so I look, you know, and New Beginnings just keeps that fire burning inside, to keep that excitement burning inside, to say, okay, I got to go back and turn on some more life. You know, I'm not looking to retire. I always get blown away at how many chiropractors I met over the years traveling around the world that can't wait to retire. And I go, why would you want to retire? This is not a difficult job. This is really easy. You know, it's like I'm not retiring. I take a lot more time off. You know, my son Josh runs the practice, but when I'm in, I love being part of it. I don't have any plans on, you know, leaving chiropractic, you know, to do something different. I mean, there's nothing else I could think of better in the world to do than turn on life.
Well,
I mean, that's where my excitement is.
Right. And I don't even feel, I don't have anything to retire from, because I don't really feel like I'm working, because I'm hanging out with my friends, and I'm hanging out with the people that I want to. It's why it's easy for me to go away on weekends. Well, why do you go away on the weekend? Because I'm going to hang out with my friends anyway. It's just my friends are chiropractors, and I love going to a place where we can have discussion, and we can have even debate. But it's a singular purpose of making the world better through philosophical and principled chiropractic. And so I don't work, and so I got to do something during the day. So I might as well go to the office and, as you said, turn on the life of all these people, because the coolest thing you ever hear as a chiropractor is, I never knew. Well, two cool things would be, I never knew I could live like this, and would you please check my kids?
Right, which is great. And I got to tell you, you know, you touched on like traveling away on weekends and stuff. Literally, Kathy and I have traveled all over the world, and everyone, oh, another vacation. I don't think I've traveled any place where we didn't have something to do with chiropractic, whether it's Australia, China, Hong Kong, you know, Spain, Italy, Germany. Every place we go, we bring chiropractic with us. Right. And, you know, I get the opportunity to talk to chiropractors all over the world. And so I don't need to retire. I mean, I travel all over the world because of chiropractic. And so I'm excited about that too, you know, and even to go to Long Branch, New Jersey, or wherever we're going this time. I don't even, Asbury Park. I knew it was one of those places.
Whatever.
Jersey's all a big, whatever, you know, going to Asbury Park, you know, it's any place I can get invited to talk about chiropractic. I love it. I make a vacation out of it.
No, it's wonderful. We've told people Asbury Park is actually way nicer than it used to be. They've done a wonderful job, so it's a great location for people to have. It's going to be May 20th through 23rd. You're getting close. We're like 9 days away or so from when this thing starts. And so we get to celebrate with you. Not that I was going to bring it up, but I'll bring it up. So you're winning some award. So you win the Lifetime Achievement Award, but super well deserved. So that's going to be fun to celebrate with you.
Looking forward to the partying.
Yeah,
that's another good thing about New Beginning. We do party a lot, which is fun.
We do, and the Meatloaf sing-alongs are epic. So if anybody likes Meatloaf, you can come to New Beginnings, and we'll have a quality sing-along, I promise. And so please check out, if you still want to register, you still can, www.nbchiro.com. Hang out with myself and Dr. J at the diner, because that's when all the good stuff happens. And other than that, Dr. J, what would you like to say to take us out on this interview?
Well, come down and party with us. Come down and have fun with us. Sharing the philosophy, sharing the fellowship, sharing the friendship. Become part of our family. You know, if you haven't been to New Beginnings, this is a great one to start. If you have been to New Beginnings, come on back and hang out with us. Looking forward to it. I'm excited to be there. Hope you are too.
Thank you, Dr. J, and I will see you, in 3 days?
3 days. Looking forward to it. Take care.
Take it easy.
Bye now.